It is my pleasure to introduce Cal Southern's 2019 keynote speaker, Mr. Don DiCostanzo. Mr. DiCostanzo has spent 30 years in the automotive industry. By all measures, he was very successful, having worked his way up from salesperson to president. Eventually, though he liked his career in the automotive industry, he understood he did not love it. He decided to do what he loved. He went into the business of selling fun, and by doing so, he revolutionized the bicycling industry. Pedego electric bikes are enjoyed by people everywhere, some riding for exercise, some for fun, and others because they prefer it over a wheelchair. In New York, you will see police officers patrolling on horses. In California, you'll see police officers patrolling on Pedego bikes. You know some of his more famous customers. Seattle's radio psychiatrist, Dr. Fraser Crane, played by the actor Kelsey Grammer. Miss Universe 2004, Jennifer Hawkins. A household icon, Martha Stewart. And a famous space captain who said, "To boldly go where no one has gone before," Captain Kirk, played by William Shatner. To boldly go where no one has gone before. That statement is truly what Don DiCostanzo has done. Over the last 11 years, Don has garnered many titles: the godfather of bicycling, the reinventor of the wheel, the Elon Musk of electric bikes, and the ambassador of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you our 2019 keynote speaker, co-founder and CEO of Pedego Electric Bikes, the ambassador of fun himself, Mr. Don DiCostanzo.
Members of the graduating class, please stand up. And join me in applauding your parents, relatives, friends, mentors, and all the guests here. And members of the graduating class, please remain standing for a moment. You are members of a very special group of people. Only a small percentage of the world's population is fortunate enough to have had the educational opportunity that you've enjoyed over the last several years from California Southern University. In fact, only 7% of the world's population can claim such an achievement. So please join me in applauding the outstanding faculty and staff here at California Southern who've instructed, enlightened, guided, and mentored you while we were here at students at California Southern. Please sit down. I promise to be brief. We live in interesting times. Instant communications, rapid technological change, and ever-shifting social, economic, and political currents are part and parcel of the world that you now venture out into. This is both exciting and challenging. Thanks to all the people you just applauded, you are now well equipped to surge into this vibrant world. I believe each of you can do well, and that each of you can make a positive contribution to society. But I ask, before you go and pursue your chosen life goals, you remember the following. You have a moral responsibility to all the alumni, faculty, staff, financial donors, and volunteers who preceded you here at California Southern and made it is what it is today. Also, you have a moral responsibility to all those in the world who have not been gifted with all the wonderful opportunity that your upbringing and education afforded you. You are the legacy of your parents, family, friends, mentors, instructors, and everyone else who has brought you to this point in your lives. And then I ask one more thing. Honor them by being the best you can be and being the best person you can possibly be. What exactly does that mean? Be the best person you can be. Everyone says it, but I don't know that anybody knows what it means. The question is how can you be the most important person you can be? I'm going to give you some guidelines from what I've learned about it. There's only one way I know to be the best person you can be. Find something you are passionate about, and then find a career path that takes you there. Passion exceeds everything when it comes to being the best you can be. Passion for whatever excites you, but you must be intentional about it. Allow me to give you some examples. Let's say you love yoga. Find a career in yoga, like going to work for Lululemon. What if you're an organic foodie? You should find a career in the restaurant business or go to work for somebody like Whole Foods. By the way, it doesn't mean you have to work at the retail level. You can find a career in the supply chain or work at headquarters or in the marketing department or accounting department of a company like Whole Foods. If you're passionate about technology, go to work for Google or Apple or Oracle or any of the other hundreds or thousands of startup companies that are out there. If you love social media, find a career helping companies or nonprofits manage their social media footprint. Work for Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. If you yearn to be an entrepreneur, go to work at a smaller company where you can learn directly from the owner. There's no better way to be an entrepreneur but to learn from other entrepreneurs. If you love travel, get a job in the travel industry. That could mean anything. It could be you could be a tour guide, you could be working at an airline, you could work at an airport. Anything that excites you is where you need to be. Simple, right? Maybe not. Liking something is not quite as good enough, just like in life. Just liking something isn't good enough. Typically, people don't get married because they just like the other person, right? The same should be true in what you do in your career. You must love it. The first 30 years of my career, I really liked what I did. Then I found something I loved, and I became truly successful. Until I loved it, I didn't become truly successful. Don't get me wrong, it'll take some sacrifice, especially in the beginning. One of the best examples I know of becoming a commercial airline pilot. First, you must get a private pilot certificate. That's after you go through a lot of hours of training. Then you have to add instrument and multi-engine ratings. Then you have to earn a commercial flight certificate. Then become a flight instructor. Then you have to gain experience. Everyone starts out in a single-engine plane. The actual process takes a long time and much dedication, and it can be an expensive pathway to a career. The average investment to obtain the average amount of flight training you need to become a private pilot is $10,000. The average amount of investment time to study and pass the FAA private pilot exam is 500 hours. The average investment to obtain an airline transport pilot license is 10 times that of a private pilot license. This all adds up to about $100,000. That including 5,000 hours of study time and all the instruction manual. Over the course, it'll probably take you about 625 days or 125 weeks to become a commercial airline pilot. But you want to know something? I've never met a commercial airline pilot that didn't love what he did. It took sacrifice. Fortunately, most careers don't take that kind of dedication and financial resources. But learning an industry from the ground up can be worth it. I worked in a car wash when I was in my teens and ended up owning 40 car washes. I opened a bike store before I became a bicycle manufacturer. In both cases, what I learned, and more importantly, experienced, was the key to my success. There's nothing like learning on the job and getting paid for it. For example, if you wanted to own your own restaurant someday, work in a restaurant, a very good restaurant, because it's the best place you can learn. Start out wherever you can, even if it means you've got to wash dishes. Then become the manager and understand the operations before you venture out on your own. If you find something you love, it won't be like work. Despite owning and operating my own successful company, I don't consider it work because I love it. Now, I urge you to go out into the world and do whatever you can do. Do it passionately and enthusiastically, and you can be the best you can be. Thank you.